Good afternoon, Katleho. So this march started at around 10 o'clock this morning, and it's moved from the Durban City Hall to this very same police station, which is just next to me. It is the Point Road police station. Now, we saw scores of marches, necessarily or literally a movement, a march rather, that was led by the March and March movement. So from this particular march, we saw marchers make their way here. They've got quite a number of grievances that they had brought forward, but the main one really calling on police officials to ensure that they do a bit more in terms of protecting, the city center, which is the CBD, as where we are coming to you now live from. This area is notorious for drug peddling, and we have seen even before police officials counting this particular area as one of those that are challenging when it comes to rooting out crime. I'm going to bring into the conversation the March and March movement leader, Jacinta Ngobese-Zuma, to speak to us firstly about the grievances that are on that memorandum, and also the memorandum has just been handed over and received by police here.
Yeah. So the grievances that we have are that there's this place called Point, and it's become a norm that this place is a place to find drugs, prostitution, kidnappings, and the police station is just here. I don't know if that makes sense. We have places where there's a police station, and in the center of the police station or around the police station, there's a lot of drug activity, criminal activity going on. But you'll never see them going to raid all these buildings. Instead of that, it's the people who are living in these buildings that are committing crimes that are more comfortable than we are as South Africans. Right now, when we're marching on the way here, we had an incident where they were throwing paint, which has like some acid feel to us. And when we called the police, I personally went to the police and I said to them, they are throwing things to the people, please come and attend to it. The response that I got from this police officer was that it's our fault because we're provoking them. I asked him, what do you mean we're provoking them? And he says to me, it's because I said that people who are not scared must move from the back to the front. I'm like, what is provocative about that? So we have, I asked him, you are doing your job. You can't even protect us and you are here. You can't protect us and you're here. What happens when you are not here? It's even worse. They have become so comfortable with criminals that we know that there are police who are criminals themselves, and they are working with the criminals here. That's why you'll find people selling drugs in broad daylight, and nobody's going to do anything because our government is making it a norm to have these mushrooming places where there's people from all over the world coming and living in those places, occupying those spaces, and making us feel uncomfortable in our own country. And they won't do anything about it. You know why? Because most of them are criminals. We know and we've heard from the Madlanga Commission and all these ad hoc commissions that our police are in cahoots with criminals. And we are all asking now that the SAPS make sure that they root out the criminal police that are criminals. They're not even taking that seriously. We've got police who are criminals. Even generals, we've seen that. What are they waiting for to root those people out? What are they waiting for? Here we can literally point at some of the police that we know who are working with these people here. But instead of them fearing for their lives, the police, we are the ones that must fear for our lives, so that we must stay quiet and these foreigners must take over these places. It comes to an end now. We're tired. South Africa must return to its glory. South Africa and anyone who's here in South Africa must be here on good terms and to do good things. We can't have criminals walking so brazen and having places that we're not supposed to come to because they are so brave.
And after handing that memorandum, what is the response that you received from the official that received this memorandum?
Well, they said they're calling us to a meeting now. We're going to hear what they have to say. But we want them to give us deadlines. We want them to give us time frames, because we're hearing that they need evidence to arrest these police and whatnot. How much more evidence must people give? We've been sending them videos of police who are doing criminal activities, but we're still seeing those same police. There's people here who are complaining about things that they have reported cases to so-and-so, and they have audio of these certain Nigerians threatening them and telling them that the police are in their pockets. How are we comfortable with having people threaten us in our own country, and we are the ones that are meant to be scared? When are the police going to act on these criminals that are taking over this country?
So what are you expecting from this meeting? You've mentioned you need some sort of a deadline, a time frame. But when you look into the deeper aspects of that, a deadline, a time frame to do what exactly?
Deadline for them to raid these buildings. I'm telling you, if you and I were to stand here and the police were to go to just this building that I'm pointing at right now, they will find drugs, they will find women who are prostituted, they will find children who are kidnapped. But they won't do that because they're living amongst them. It's so breezy. Everyone's having a nice time except for us as South Africans. If the police are serious about their job, they must tell us when are they raiding these buildings. Second to that, when are they rooting out these rotten police that have become comfortable with becoming criminals here? Because this is not, a police station is not supposed to be a place for criminals. If they want to be criminals, they must join them here in this building. We want police who took an oath and said they want to protect South Africans. They must protect South Africans. That is their job. The problem we have, though, is that they don't even know the law. What are they teaching police if you are going to come here and tell a police officer that it's my right to do this, even if you're a foreigner? And the police can't say anything because they don't even know what the law says. Now we're saying there are bylaws here, there are hijacked buildings here, all the way stretching down there. The shops that you saw, all of them are closed. Are they even in compliance? No, they are not. But who's doing that? Who's making sure that we root out all these people and they go back to where they come from instead of being criminals in our country?
Yeah. Do you feel police have the capacity to act swiftly and within the time frame that you are expecting?
Of course they don't have the capacity. They always say they don't have capacity. But when we try and help them as the community, as much and much, they tell us that we are contravening some law or we're breaking some law or they're going to get us arrested. They tell us all the time. Border management says they don't have capacity. The immigration officers, they don't have capacity. The police, they don't have capacity. The community then has capacity. And we're going to use that capacity. And you're going to tell us that we're being illegal and you're going to arrest us. And you must tell us where do you want to get this capacity. Because every time we try and get and address issues of illegal immigration, we are told about capacity. But when we help, it's a problem. They must decide what is it that they want for this country. Do they want the country to function or do they want to tell us about capacity that they don't have? If they don't have capacity, we will join them and help them speed up the process.
All right. And the issue of hijacked buildings, it's also one of your area of concerns, right?
Yes, they hijack these. There's so many problems. Like standing here, I can see like 50,000 problems. There's a school down the road. That school is known that it only has about 80% of people who are not South African. What is the point of having a school where 80% of those people are not from South Africa? Why are we educating children and not educating children of South Africa who don't have space? Some of the parents here have come to us and complained that their children have to travel all the way on the other side to get schools. Is there anything that works in this country? Nothing works.
All right, so those are, of course, questions that need to be answered. Thank you so much for your time. Jacinta Ngobese Zuma speaking to us, really, Katleho, about today, the purpose of this march. A memorandum has been handed over and there is a meeting that they are going to be locked in now with some police officials to find a way moving forward, in terms of addressing their concerns. But there have been quite strong allegations coming through from that conversation, which would also require for police to also respond to. One of those, allegations being that police are colluding with criminals here. This particular area is so popular for having, a lot of drug dealings coming out of this area, saying that police are aware of this, but they are turning a blind eye. Katleho, it's back to you.
All right, Phila Mthembu out in the Durban city centre bringing us the latest from that march, by March and March.